Being an early childhood educator means recognizing the importance of early intervention. It also means recognizing how crucial it is to be a partner with the parents, families, caregivers, and communities. Today's video is going to educate you and inform you on such programs that are available that provide parents with some resources, knowledge, and information. It's important as an educator that I take the time to learn these resources and share them with my parents. Share with them what I know, what is available to them, and how they can be an advocate for their child, particularly if their child has special needs. These websites emphasize the importance of the early intervention as well as the collaboration amongst all. Early On is a program that offers early intervention services for infants and toddlers who are ages birth to 3 years of age. These children will have developmental delays or disabilities. It emphasizes again the importance of early intervention. You can see that plainly with the statement that they make. Don't worry, but don't wait. Early On supports families during the identification process of young children with special needs. It addresses the numerous questions that parents may have, from how do I know if my child is developmentally delayed, to how can I refer my child, and what can I do about it now? It provides parents with an abundance of resources and empowers them. It provides resources to caregivers and educators such as myself. So let's learn a little bit about what Early On is. I'm just going to read right on here because they state it best by saying, the goal of early intervention is to enable young children to be active and successful participants in the early childhood years and in the future in a variety of settings. Early On's mission builds upon and provides support and resources to assist family members and caregivers to enhance the eligible children's learning and development through everyday learning opportunities. What is Early On's vision? A very powerful statement that states infants and toddlers will reach their fullest potential. They will successfully transition to the next phase of life with empowered and supportive families. My favorite part concerning that vision statement is it does not say that their vision is to go and fix the child or to reach a set number of goals for that child, but to recognize that it is by supporting and empowering families that they will be able to reach their mission, and that the student or child will be able to reach their individual fullest potential, whatever that could mean for that particular child. Early On research has changed, and the model of what this looks like has changed significantly. No longer are the days of driving your child to a program, dropping them off, having a service provider teach the child, and you pick up the child and go home, feeling good and confident that your child learned the skills that they needed in that setting. Now, what happens is a home visitor will come to your home and work directly with the child and the families. This is how the child learns best, is by working with individuals in a natural home setting. To teach the parents is the best model possible because it will teach those parents to do everyday activities in the natural setting, which will help those children reach their fullest potential. There might be different activities they'll work on, like diapering or bathing, dressing, social, emotional. But whatever it is that the visitor is working with the child on, they will work with the parents and the family as well. It is the parents who know their child best. And it is the parents who are that child's first teacher and need to continue to be the teacher. Early on works through intervention and service. Some people may wonder how you are eligible for early on services. Early on services, as mentioned before, are available to children ages 0 to 3 who are developmentally delayed or have special needs. If you believe that your child or student or grandchild even is delayed or has a disability, you can simply go through the referral process. And the referral is located right online on 1-800-EARLYON.org. And you can simply fill out a referral form telling some general information concerning the child and some parent legal information, your contact information as the referrer. Something that I very much appreciate about the referral process is at the bottom it asks if the family knows that you're making the referral and if it's okay for the family to know that you made this referral. Sometimes having a child with special needs can be difficult for parents, and they may be undergoing the grieving process. But it's important that we make sure, as early childhood caregivers, that we are recognizing needs and trying to fill those needs for our families, not just our students and children. After the referral process is done, it will be determined if your child qualifies for an individual family support plan, emphasis being on family support plan. The parents provide the goals, what they feel their child needs, and the home visitor will work with the families to help the child meet the goals by doing everyday activities in the home, as well as providing a referral service for parents. There are an overabundance number of resources available to parents, and many times it can be very overwhelming. And I just want to share a few of my favorites that I was able to locate on the site. The blindness and visual impairments. If your child has those, they do qualify for early on services. And you can see that there are some national resources. And I located this one and clicked on it, and it told me about them and the informational things. But what I really liked was that I was able to find my state project and make it local. And I went into Michigan. And although disappointed to find out it was Central Michigan University and not Saginaw Valley State University who was providing the project, I clicked on the website to see what they offered. Being a kindergarten teacher, I was very intrigued with the literacy. I love to teach reading and find a lot of power in read alouds. And I was wondering what they were providing there. And I was very pleased to find these stories that are available that you can click on, and you can go to the storytime video. And when you go to the storytime video, I don't know if you can hear the audio, but they're reading the story as well as this lady signing it. I thought that was a really neat resource that I could possibly use in my own classroom to help and encourage diversity and culture and to provide a little bit of insight for my students. I had a student one time who did have cerebral palsy, and I learned an awful lot about it. But I went to the website for cerebral palsy, and one thing that I liked about this is inspiration. The reason why is because a lot of times, as I mentioned, it can be difficult having a child with special needs. And so to hear inspiring stories, to hear from other people that have been there, to hear the success stories can be so uplifting and positive and helpful to an individual. And I was so grateful to see the tab that said inspiration and all these different individuals, athletes with cerebral palsy, artists with palsy, make a difference. Inspirational messages, inspirational books. That's great, great. On the Downs page, I found something that I absolutely loved, loved, loved. And Families Exploring Down Syndrome wants you to see how people with Down syndrome and their families shine on, again, empowering, empowering statement, and how we can all help make this a better world, not only for them, but for everyone. And I love that vision and that thought. And when I clicked on here, I found this really vital resource that I thought would be really great for a home visitor, for an educator to be able to use. And it's called Getting to Know Me. And this is something that I would love to be able to print off. And the parents fill this information out. And I thought, how neat, because we recognize that first and foremost, we need to build that relationship and get to know our parents as well as the child with whom we're working. And we need to be able to understand the parents' perspectives because they do know their child best. They have been with the child the most amount of time. And I thought that this was a really neat document that would give you some information about the family, about the way the child learns and strengths and weaknesses, what the child likes, feelings, places they like to go. Health and safety is always important, so we need to make sure that we know that information as well. But what kinds of things the child does at home, and then anything else that the parent might want to share with you concerning the child. But I thought this would be a very neat resource to be able to utilize with any child, not just for families that are exploring Down syndrome. So thank you to FEDS for providing that resource. I have already printed that off and have that available to me to be able to utilize with my own students. Speech and language resources provided something that I feel is very, very important for people to be aware of. One of the questions that people always ask is they'll ask about their child's speech. Is my child saying enough words, or what sounds should they be making? And so there are some different resources that are available for a child um, or for the parent. But right here, the speech and language milestones, birth to 5, will let the parents know. And this is a resource, again, that anybody can use. And I wish it wasn't blurry, but there's all these milestones that are located for here. And so we need to find one that is not blurry. I had found one that was not blurry. Where did I find that? This is the one I was using. There we go. This one's not blurry. Okay. How do speech and language differ? And then over here on the tab, it says, does my toddler have a language delay? And so it will tell about some different things that a child should do when they're 2 and when they're 3 years old. And then communicating with your 1 and 2-year-old. Talks about toddlers. When should you contact your doctor and when should you be concerned? And so this I felt was a great resource because you can provide to people information about what should your child be doing at 12 months, what should your child be doing at 4 years, and then does my child need some speech therapy, and how can I help and support my child if they do have a language delay? So that was not the blurry one, but delayed speech or language development tab. Need to work on that other one so it's not all blurry. When you click on the resources tab, again, there are numerous resources that are available to the parents. It provides them with some about concerning just so many resources, homelessness and lead resources, because that's been a hot topic for a lot of years, children that suffer from lead poisoning. Um, and the family resources again. So you can see how this website would be extremely beneficial to parents to provide to them some information about the early on program, to let them know how to refer a child, provide them with additional resources from what they can do with their child at home, or what the milestones are that they need to know, when to be concerned. And it's Physician's Corner. Oh, yeah, that was another one that I really liked because that talks about the medical perspective on things. There's just so much I could click and I could show you, but I highly encourage that you go on, click, and learn some more about the early on services that are available to the child. There were two more resources. Learn the signs, act early. This was my favorite one because it does tell the milestones, and you've heard people say there's an app for that. And there is an app for that. There is actually an app that allows you to track the milestones for your child to determine if your child is developmentally delayed. So at 2 months, what should your child be doing? At 4 months, what should your child be doing? At 18 months, what should your child be doing? And so on and so forth, up to the first 5 years of life. And so you can track that as a parent. And when you go to see your physician, you can provide them with the information. And again, knowledge is power. And the more you know, the better you can help your child. And social and emotional, another hot topic. The social emotional development of children is huge. It's so important. Um, there, it, it has a lot to do with their brain development. It has a lot to do with their ability to be able to learn, to be successful in school. And so the mental health should be focused on, social emotional health should be focused on. Those are the things that we need to make sure that we're aware of, as well as the physical needs that our children and our students need. And there is a guide on here, um, guide for families. And I liked this fact sheet, and I printed this fact sheet off actually to be able to provide to my parents. And I'd like to be able to see if we can implement this into our screening for students. because it emphasizes the importance of social emotional health. So many times we recognize our children are bright, they are smart, they can do so many things. But what they're lacking in is their social emotional health. And so, if their social emotional development is not there, children do not have those skills, are less prepared to work and to learn in school. They're more likely to have behavior problems. They're more likely to get frustrated. They're more likely to cry, dislike school, drop out of school. All this can clearly have a difficult time on a child's ability to be able to even learn. So, here for the social emotional health milestones again. But I really loved why should we fund services supports children's social and emotional health? And this is another topic for another day. But I want to say the future starts now. It's right there. We all benefit when children get a good start in life. We all benefit when children get a good start in life. So start investing in our littlest people. Okay, and that is the early on program. As well as the early on program, there's another program that's available that promotes partnerships amongst the family, the educators, and the community, which is very amazing, really awesome. And it is the Great Start Collaborative. And I went to the Bay Area Great Start Collaborative because I am a resident of Bay County. And I would imagine a lot of them are very similar in what they provide. But I love how in the very beginning, there's COVID-19 resources available, including education, parenting, and free meal locations. So, right out of the gate, providing parents with resources that they need to educate their child, to be able to parent, and to be able to feed their child. If if you can't eat, you can't learn. Um, Access to services for parents. My favorite one was the Starting Strong Great Parents Program, and it's available in Bay and Arnett counties for children between the ages of birth to 5. What I really like about this program is that it incorporates interactive play groups, and a home visiting program, family enrichment activities, so allowing you to be able to continue that learning, and setting your child up for success at home through different activities. And the Imagination Library Program. The Imagination Library Program is a program that was developed by Dolly Parton, and it is free, and it will provide your child with a book. You sign up, and your child will get a book every single month, for free, and they're great reads. There's hardcover books. There's books about emotions and feelings. You get board books when your child is young, um, and it allows you the opportunity to be able to read and talk with your child. 211 is a program which I know this year, especially, I've been told to direct parents to 211 a lot of times, if they're in need of any kind of assistance. 211 is the number that you call that will provide you with a lot of resources, whether it's trying to figure out how to come up with money to be able to pay your bills, or if you're looking for some place to be able to get some food, or if you just, well, you can see right there, access to all different things. So what do we do? What does the Great Start Collaborative do? And there's a really great video that is here. And I will just highlight some of the things that it talks about. It talks about how professionals come together at a one-stop shop. It is the partnership between parents, policymakers, educators, social workers, doctors, community members. The goal is to meet the individual needs of each child, and the issues are addressed for each young child through a system that they've developed by providing tools and resources for the parents, provided by all those stakeholders, the physicians and the educators and the social workers. Um, it's important to emphasize again early identification and early intervention for special needs. It emphasizes family support, and there's a focus on nutrition and mental health as well as education. They look at early learning for children, and they work with local partners. They all work together. Again, your healthcare providers and your physicians and social workers and educators all work together to provide some high quality resources and services to support the individual needs of each child. So, sums up the program, what they do. Um, Choosing childcare, developing milestones, connecting with your kids. So you can see where it would provide you with some resources available, whether you want to know how your child is developing, or childcare is super important at this young age. It's important that we have very highly effective and supportive early caregivers. So to have the resource to help choose a childcare for us as parents is helpful. Um, it also introduces you to the Great Start to Quality, and basically it's like a rating system that they use for licensing programs, um, or for licensed programs, not licensing program. Well, licensing programs. But you can find some different care centers. I logged in as a guest and I just put in my local. I am looking for a Head Start program in the Sixville area where I work. Um, I'm just going to put in the school's address. No matches. Ooh, there are no early Head Start programs in the area. Well, I do know there is one in Bay County, though, located in Pinconning, but Essexville does not have any. Or they have an early Head Start. No. All right, I'm going to put in Head Start for. I know there's one in. Oh, I won't change the zip code. Okay, so anyway, let's do preschool because I know there's going to be a lot of hits for preschool for Essexville. For some reason, my wouldn't change that. Ugh, why is it doing this? Why? Why? Find before it changes. There they are. I'll provide you with some different locations where you can get information concerning childcare services for your child, including DeBerry Bush Community Enrichment Program, which is the building in which I work, but not the program that I work in. So you can see how they work with the community and having the community come on here, work with them, and be able to provide parents with what can I do for my child that you're offering within the community. The 911 for parents I thought was interesting. It's basically questions that parents might feel a little uncomfortable asking. I was very surprised though with the limited number of questions that there are. Um, there's seven, I think. Seven questions. And I know as a parent, I have three children. I have way more questions than that. So something that I would like to see happen perhaps is that the Great Start Collaborative collect a database of some more questions that they could put on there for help for parents. I know one thing that I had asked about with my own child is when my child was a toddler, she ate something that she wasn't supposed to, and I became very panicky, and I wasn't certain what to do, and so I was like, "What do I do if my child consumes something that I feel may be dangerous for her?" And I I called the local hospital, and the local hospital referred me to poison control, and then I had to provide them with any information that I had. Fortunately, she was okay. It wasn't a significant amount or anything, but when your child puts their mouth on something, it's okay. Different topic, different day again. But I'd like to see some more questions on there for the parents to be able to access. Resources. I was actually surprised that there were only two resources that were listed here. The STEM Lending Library I thought was really fun and interesting. What I was surprised to learn, though, is that this is only available for childcare services to be able to rent. So it's kind of like a lending library. Um, but I thought that that was a really neat concept because a lot of times you are a child care provider, a licensed daycare program who's in need of materials, but you don't want to go out and purchase a bunch of them. So you have this lending library in the Bay Area community where you can go and get those resources to be able to teach STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I think you should throw an A in there and make it art as well for STEAM. The littlest of people love that best. Some of the community resources that are available, not found. Unbelievable. Not okay with me. So the Imagination Library is the first one I just clicked on there that would not find for us. So I would personally contact my ISD and let them know that we need access to that information through our collaborative effort. Bedtime math, personally not a huge fan, but it is a resource that's available. Basically, it tells you about how to do math at home, and this one's really great. Is it the math at home part is really great. It'll do that, but there's like a daily story problem on here, something that you can do with your children. Um, but another topic for another day because I feel the best and most effective way to teach math is through your hands-on materials and things, which leads me to Math in the Mail. Great program and resource. My nephew, when my nephew was 3 years old, I enrolled him in this program. And every month he would get a box. And inside of that box, there would be different manipulatives, like these manipulatives right here that you see, those shapes. And then it would have different activities that he could do with them. Like they might tell you, have your child build with different objects with them. They might say, have your child sort them by color. They might say, have your child sort them by shape. Um, count the sides or sing the song. It also provided a book every single month. So that was really great. My nephew's favorite book was like 1, 2, 3 Chomp and the Dinosaur Math in the Mail kit. It was amazing. He really loved it. He actually got these little dinosaur counters to be able to do things, and then he had to, like, use the dinosaurs to trace around the shape, and he had to use the dinosaur to be able to sort stuff. And then it had the story, and I actually saved all the books, and they are now a part of my classroom library. So Math in the Mail, a great initiative and program that they have. Talking and teaching was fun to explore as well, because we recognize that talking, reading, and singing with your child is a great way to help them develop their brain and to learn, and it turns things into games. And they've done so much research concerning that. Um, but one thing that I found really interesting that was on here actually is I learned about, for autism, it was dance therapy. Dance therapy. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? So, my point by providing that is to let you know that there's something for everyone out there. There are resources available. There are tips and strategies that we can be providing our parents. We can be working with our social workers. It's imperative that we do. So that way we can get these parents what they need so they can help their child be the most successful they can be. After doing this project, one thing that I really loved was the ability to be able to learn new things, to learn about the different programs that were available out there, to hear the success stories and the inspirational stories. But most importantly, to learn things that I can tell my parents, to learn things that I can provide to them to be that support system that they need. I recognize there is very much a need for more funding in early childhood education. It is a topic and a debate a lot of times. There needs to be more emphasis on early childhood education. There needs to be more money put into early childhood education. The early intervention needs to be taking place during the ages of 0 to 3, not 5, when they come into my classroom early on. I could clearly see the benefits of working together. And I love the idea of building a community of individuals who come together to support a child and a family, collaboratively working to achieve the same goal of making that child the best that they can be, and obtaining the goal of providing the parents with the love and support that they so much appreciate and need to have. But I think most importantly, it continued to emphasize the concept that I've always known, and that is, it truly does take a village.